So today is day 45 of the war, if we can call it a war, but a very fragile ceasefire that seems to be in place. And however, when it comes to escalation, because what President Trump has now said in his latest reaction, saying that the United States will now start a naval blockade at the Strait of Hormuz, following the collapse of the high-stakes peace talks in Islamabad with Iran. Now, the U.S. military says that it will block ships that are entering and exiting Iranian ports starting 7:30 p.m. today, Indian Standard Time. Meanwhile, Iran has maintained that any military vessel that approaches the Strait of Hormuz will be considered in violation of the ceasefire and will be dealt with. However, there is no detail exactly what is coming in from the Iranian side. But first, let's listen in to what President Trump has said announcing this naval blockade.
I would say it's holding well. Their military is destroyed. Their whole Navy is underwater. You know that. 158 ships are gone. Their Navy's gone. Most of their mine droppers are gone. We have a lot of people, as you know, at 10 o'clock tomorrow, we have a blockade going into effect. That'll be 10 o'clock tomorrow. Other nations are working so that Iran will not be able to sell oil, and that will be very effective. But what we want to do is we want to, and again, we don't need it. What we notice and what we see and what I think is maybe my idea, maybe not, I don't know. But there are many boats heading toward our country to fill up with oil and then go and take it. So they're not going to go through the Hormuz Strait. And ultimately that'll be corrected. But in the meantime, they're using us. We have more oil because of drill, baby, drill. We have more oil than Russia and Saudi Arabia put together. So if you look at Russia and Saudi Arabia, two big ones, we have much more oil than they have put together. And what's happening is boats are coming over here, filling up. We don't have to go through the Hormuz Strait.
So that seems to be the latest announcement that is now coming in from President Trump. However, that is also being mocked on part of Iran's side. But let's get you this basic understanding exactly what President Trump now means by what he has now been announcing as a naval blockade. And exactly when it comes to the challenges in this very region there, for long, as far as what Iran now seems to be of the opinion in that proposal that it had kept forth during the Islamabad talks, that the Strait of Hormuz would be monetized by them. So another one challenge there is the narrow sea lane. High traffic, of course, 20% of the global supply is something that passes through that very narrow strait. Then let's in the meantime talk about these mines that can be shut, for the traffic as well, because Iran has laid the mines on the seabed, but it can't locate them exactly. Missiles that threaten the tankers as well. There is another obvious threat of also when it comes to drones that also remain, and how complicated the situation now begins. And also when it comes to constant cover for a safe passage is something, because multiple countries, including India, has been holding direct talks with Iran to actually get their ships and their tankers which are stranded in the Persian Gulf a free passageway. Swarm boats are also a threat because there is a constant threat of harassment, also hit and shadow as well. So that is also another what we are now looking at as far as the sticking point is concerned. Because J.D. Vance announced that the talks have failed, but what issues were the ones that were brought up with Iran which led to the failure of talks? Was it the Strait of Hormuz? Was it when it comes to the nuclear ambitions of Iran? Let's listen in to what has been the latest reaction has been coming in.
I think Iran is in very bad shape. I think they're very desperate. We had a meeting that lasted 21 hours. We understand the situation better than anybody, and Iran's in very bad shape. And just so you understand, Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. Will not have. There is no way that they're going to get. They still want it, and they made that clear the other night. Iran will not have a nuclear weapon.
Mayank, good morning. After all of these developments and latest reactions from President Trump, is there an understanding exactly why did the Islamabad peace talks fail?
Definitely, and the way the things are coming out, nuclear is the common word between what J.D. Vance, Vice President, said and now whatever the President has been time and again repeating since yesterday. So nuclear is the fulcrum or the focal point on which on official words actually, because I believe the way the Strait of Hormuz is going, it has also become the kind of a, it is also getting the kind of significance which nuclear issue has been given significant to. So, and on the other side, let me bring also Lebanon in this case, because there had been operations continuing that side, and it was Iran which was saying that it won't compromise as far as the cessation of operations on Lebanon was concerned. So what we see is actually lots of things are coming out, but on official this thing, seeing the official words coming out, nuclear aspect is the one on which US has been maintaining common grounds as far as between Vice President and President, saying that they won't allow Iran to become a nuclear weapon capable. Mind it, weapon word is very important because NPT, as per which the sanctions can be put on a country, is it also includes nuclear use for peaceful purposes also, which is to produce electricity or for other purposes, which is medical reasons also. I mean, radioactive materials are also used for medical purposes also. So that aspect is there. Willy-nilly, weapons remain the point on which
But
things
wasn't
have got
those
stuck
talks already happening as far as
till now
in
the
Geneva is concerned, even before this war began? So exactly then the question comes up to square one. Why was this war needed in the first place by US and Israeli side? But let's in the meantime also talk about how Iran has been reacting, because Iran